Hey guys, it's Andrew again. I'm still inside. And I was thinking about the last video that we made and we were talking about the May 2-4. And you know, it's funny when you're making these videos and you're doing them, or you're trying to do them in a single take. Oftentimes you'll look back on it and you'll say, my God, oh, I forgot to say this, I forgot to say that. And I started thinking about gravel pit camping. And you know, again, the weather is inclement today, to say the least. It's windy and it's rainy. Now we had a beautiful start to the week, as I said, but it's raging out there pretty good. And I was thinking about people. I mean, here I am at the house, right? And it's comfort. But I'm thinking people that are in campers and trailers and tents. And imagine that crowd up in the gravel pit today. Right? My goodness gracious. Gravel pit camping is a source of great confusion for our guests, right? And for our guides alike. There's no two ways about it. You're driving along on the highway, beautiful coastal scenery, all sorts of little nooks, woodlands, rivers, ponds, lakes, streams. My goodness, there's so many places to camp. And yet Newfoundlanders, right, choose in great numbers to pitch to set themselves up in a gravel pit, right? We've always had a really, really difficult time explaining this to guests, right? And I'm not even going to take this any further now from, I said how difficult it is to make these in one take, so I'm going to revert now to reading for a second, because I did write a story about this, and I'm going to read that this evening because it's such a nice little yarn, right? Yarn, I love that, right? Newfoundlanders called stories yarns. I was thinking about it together this evening. I said we're knitting together events from the day to create something warm for us to share. Now, isn't that nice? Our guides. Right? I was talking about the gravel pit camping. How do you explain this? Guides have always had a difficult time trying to explain this phenomena, gravel pit camping. Desperately trying to present a positive spin. We talk about the camaraderie found in a gravel pit. The games of horseshoes, enjoying a beer without any fear of meeting the church minister. No grass to mow, in fact, no chores or responsibilities of any sort. This is a place where you could really relax and let everything hang out without any kind of judgment. Friends, family, food, and fun. This is how gravel pit camping must have begun. Good, everybody, what's his name? It's interesting. I said we were the reason what inspired this story, right? We didn't have any logical explanation for a gravel pit other than what I've just provided there, right? But I was telling this story in front of a friend from Court Basque, and you know who it is. It's Cabot Martin, guys. And Cabot is so funny when I say something that he finds absurd. I mean, he calls it, right? What are you talking about? Right? He's a gravel pit. The gravel pit is the perfect place to boil the kettle. Now, when questioned, all right, I'm going to go back to reading again here. His father was a church minister, and they switched from a small sailing schooner to a big old sedan as soon as the roads were installed in Newfoundland. You got to remember, we didn't have roads, right? We're a coastal community. Everybody lives on the ocean. Right, like Iceland, like these places, we had boats. That was our means of transportation. Right, I mean, you got to remember, the car is a fairly new invention. Right, and it's not really until you get into the First World War that, you know, cars are perfected. Our roads were rough, and every trip was long. Right, especially when flat tires, undercarriage damage, and washouts caused undue delays. In such situations, gravel pits provided a safe sanctuary for repairs, away from the road's narrow shoulders and the massive plumes of dust that followed every passing vehicle, right? They weren't paved roads, they were dirt roads. Gravel pits provided protection from a raging wind, but channeled enough of a draft to keep flies and insects away on a fine day. There was always a crystal clear spring of water nearby, a perfect spot to boil the kettle, where children could punch in an afternoon trouting or berry picking while vehicles were repaired. As the volume of highway traffic increased, certain quarries became better known for their level of amenity. With more people stopping at these favorite pits, the fire burned nearly constantly, and the kettle boiled away, ready and waiting for the next guest with the latest news from throughout the island. For a people whose coastal communities dictated a life spent in near complete isolation, the gravel pit offered an interesting social environment where families could gather to meet friends and loved ones just passing through, stopping long enough for a cup of tea, to retrieve a care package from home, or offer someone a ride back around the bay. Waiting could prove uncomfortable in inclement weather, so campers were introduced to provide a reprieve from the elements. Complete with better cooking facilities, seating, refrigerators, and beds, they could now host in a more customary fashion, offering a proper bowl of soup, a game of cards, cold beer, and a place to stretch out between visits. Others soon caught on to the attraction, and within a short span of time, every town boasted its own bedroom community of gravel pit campers. A triangulation point connecting the one thing we love more than anything else in Newfoundland: visitors. That and the excuse to celebrate their arrival. It's the 24th of May and we likes to get away, up in the woods or out around the bay. There's all kinds of places, but the place we likes the best is up on the highway in the gravel pit. Guys, I hope you're enjoying your May 2-4 weekend. I hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm Andrew McCarthy. I'm the Urban Bayman, and I will ask you to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for your time.